Okay, folks, welcome back. Putting away some of this stuff that's out here, and then we'll get started on the Mercedes coupe. I don't know who the hell calls them a coupe. This is Baron von Richthofen. Got a couple heavy machine guns, and that's it. Perks. Don't want to make every vehicle with a ram or drop weapons. You got to make them different. I don't know if I'm going to make a vehicle that has all rear-mounted weapons. I don't think that that's really practical. Especially the way the game works. If somebody's in range at the beginning and then you move, you're farther away from them, then you're out of range. Anyhow, let's put the super readers on and see what we got. This Mercedes. A little fan you plug into your computer, and it's like all or nothing. It's like on turbo or it's not on at all. I actually don't even know how I got that. I think I got that one from the wife had it at her office or something like that. I'm notoriously always hot, so. Okay, so we have, all the black lining on it is done. Okay. We've got the actual machine guns to paint, and I think I'm going to make the housing of them red, just to tie into the body of the car. So we got that to do, and after that we can do the we got to do the grill and figure out what's going on the grill there. Let's go take an actual photo of that, and or go on the internet and find out what the front of this car looks like, and what's going on the taillight situation, and then we weather it, and that's it. So let's go ahead and do the red here. I got several reds to choose from. Try to see which one is the closest match. We're gonna need black. Here we go. Let's see if we can get some of this on us. Oh shit, I got Vallejo black. Why don't I just use Vallejo black? I need so little of it. There we go. Alright, in the red department, we got 3 contenders. We got Scarlet. That's pretty close to that. And then we have red, or so Bermelon, or flat red. I think the flat red is the one that has the least orange in it. Yeah. And this has a little bit of orange in it. So we're not going to use that one. So between these two, I think it's the scarlet one. Yep. Now, there were some Hot Wheels symbols here. I ended up putting the guns over them. But this should be a pretty close match to the body color of the car. And let's get a little bit of water. Oh yeah, happy Friday. Now it's happy Friday. Now it's Happy Friday. This is actually one of my favorite things to do, is to take apart on a vehicle that's not part of the original vehicle, like you mounted guns or something to it, but you want to color match it so it looks like it's part of the original vehicle, like it was painted at the same time, so it doesn't, clash. Obviously, the machine gun barrels are going to be in, a gunmetal like color, but I'm talking about the actual housing of these guns. And what we're doing is we're painting the darkest color any of the red is. So we just added some black to this, made it kind of like this maroon color. All right, once we got that one down, we're going to add more of this, of the core colors, I like to call it. More of the original color. Now, I need to be careful that I don't make the mistake that I did in the first 36 cars, or first 60-something cars, or whatever. And the mistake I did was, I make those little sheets for, to play games with them, and I don't want to wait until there's too many to do. Because they take a lot longer to make than you think they should. I remember one Saturday, I'm like, man, I got all these cars. I had like 40 cars and didn't have the sheet for them. Like, I just sat down and made sheets. It basically was all day Saturday just doing that. So I already have one. I'm sorry, I already have two I haven't made the sheet for. Like, they're designed and everything. It's just on paper. So this will be three. I don't want to get too carried away, and then I got a big homework assignment. Let's face it, those sheets aren't super fun to make. I mean, I think they're a necessary evil. But they could take 20 minutes to make each, Positioning stuff where it goes. I'm not a computer guru, so I don't have a template that I basically have to modify stuff on the fly in Excel. It's not a big deal. Once you get it down, you're done. And it makes a huge difference to gameplay. I don't want to play this game without sheets. It's just too chaotic. I don't want to play, have things on a piece of paper. Like, nah. Now that's part of the experience, is having that little sheet. And the sheet be color coded. Like if it's a red vehicle, it's probably going to have a sheet that has a lot of red on it. You're running multiple vehicles and it's easy to find which one's which. I mean, unless they're all red, I guess. Which is unlikely that I would have a bunch of same colored vehicles, because my teams aren't monochromatic or anything like that. They're just guilty by association. right, let's add a little bit more of the original color in here. There we go. Now we're getting into familiar territory. I don't have to pee again. That's the problem with drinking tea, is it goes right through you. All right, I'll be right back. We had a really successful show yesterday. I feel like we got a lot done. And that was you guys interacting. And we did a minimal amount of modification to this vehicle. I mean, all we did is pretty much add the guns to it. That's it. Actually, I think this is a little wet. So we're going to have to leave that alone. But this is a really similar color to that. Yeah, I mean, you can't even tell. Wow, you can't even tell the scratches. It's like a perfect match for this. All right, well that's drying. Let's look at the front. So this Mercedes is a 300 SL. Okay, so let's look at and I don't know what year it is. Mercedes 300 SL Gullwing. Okay, well, it's not that year. Gullwing front. Okay, this one actually looks like it's got like almost fog lights up here. So I'm looking for one that has the front of like that. Here. This one has one. Question is, what freaking year is this? 1957. Yeah. I'm not a fan of cars from the 50s, but what I mean by that is American cars. Now, none of these have the fog light, just that one. Well, regardless, let's get our metallic. We gotta paint the guns in metallic anyways. Let's get the darkest one we have, which is Iron Warriors. Let's put this right over here. Whew. I could use a coffee, but I'm not going to. Then I won't get a good night's sleep. Let's move this over here. Maybe this paintbrush is a little cheapy. Alright, we're going to dry brush these twin barrels. Got your final tumbling dice order today. It's going to be worked on that. Awesome. How you doing, man? My order comes in tomorrow, supposedly. I've got the stuff that was gifted to me by the printer. And I decided I didn't want him to pay shipping, so I paid the shipping. So in other words, I used all the credit on his stuff. Not like, take the shipping out of that credit as well, All right, let's look at. Okay, here's the back of it. It's got more of a bumper than. This just isn't an accurate representation. Yeah, the 3D printing collab. I don't know. He contacted me and said, "Hey, do you want some stuff? You want some stuff to sponsor you for your channel?" And I was like, I don't need the stuff, but I figure, all right, well, maybe he needs some sales, so let's promote him. I promoted his stuff before anyways, without receiving anything in return. That's fine, It's not like you have to give me something in order to, give you a shout out. All right, let's paint the front of this. We're just going to gently dry brush this. We want to keep the back of it still in black because that's how it is. The whole thing isn't. Obviously, we're going to brighten that up a little bit more. Yeah, I should be on in the morning as well. The girls came back up for this weekend because we've got a wedding that we need to go to here locally. And then the wife will leave again, supposedly. Tanks, World War II stuff. World War II stuff. World War II stuff that I don't have any of the items that are coming. It's not like, I already have a Sherman or something like that. It's not a Sherman. The things I don't have. So I think I'm probably going to stop what I'm doing and paint some of them or all of them and then go back to what I'm doing. I think. All right. We need to go up to this. I was going to get Gasland stuff. I'm like, I'm not going to get vehicles, right? And this particular guy does not make a lot of stuff that would be useful for it. There's some things that would work, but they mainly do historical stuff. You know what? As many tanks as I have, I need tanks more than Gasland cars. I do not need more Gasland cars. I don't need more Gasland cars at all. So. Well, I tried using ChatGPT today to do some face swapping. A little face swapping exercise. I don't know that it turned out really well, but I just kind of wanted to do it for practice. It's nowhere near as good as the posters and stuff like that. It's actually pitiful compared to the posters because the posters look so damn good. When I was at lunch, where I do all my thinking, and I was driving, and I was listening to music, and my 80s stuff, whatever. You know, you put like an album, I don't even remember what album it was right there, but I put an album down and I started playing it through Apple Music. And when it gets to the bottom, or you do, I was like an artist, like search, I don't know, Sticks or something like that, right? And then when it gets to the last one, you know, it'll say, play me the last, you know, play me the top 30 songs, the most popular. And when it gets to the bottom of it, even if you skip a lot of them, then it'll start suggesting you things that are technically similar to it, right? And so what I decided to do, I started listening to this particular band that I've heard. Don't have any of their albums, but I don't have anybody's albums anymore. Those days are gone. And then it hit me. I'm like, I should do a face swap with this, because it's like, why hadn't this dawned on me? And you know, I did it for the Triumph guys. And you know, because that's their rule set. It's like, I wonder how it happened. And it took, one of the guys is like spot on. You know, it supposedly even warned you when you did the face swap, you know, there's other ways to do it that, or I can just make it for you. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to be hopping around and going to 4 different programs. So I just like, let's just see how it is. And it definitely sucks compared to anything else, you know. So any of the posters and stuff like that. The posters are like incredible. The posters are just amazing. The movie shit. Yeah, the Rutabaga one. Yeah, it was like, okay, put a crowd of people. All right, make one of a farmer. You know, I'm like, okay, so that farmer got added in there. That's probably who Mitch is playing. Is he in there? Yeah, he's in the credits. Yeah, Mitch and Don's in there too. James Allen, don't know who the fuck that guy is. Lucinda Jones, written by Jude Wilson. Directed Thomas Cavinson. Oh, directed is in there twice. Thomas Cavinson and directed by Thomas Cavanaugh. Cavanagh. I guess it's a Scottish film. But this is going to be Baron von Richthofen. You know, it's red. It's not the Red Baron. It's just somebody who wants to be. Okay. Fog lamps. Lights. Lights, camera, action. Let's get some white out here. Yeah, those movie things actually took like no time to make. Like it basically did, whatever the hell it wanted to. So I'm running small villages out of water by doing that. What makes you think that I'm not using the solar power? I like solar power. Solar power is cool. It's like you either use it or it's gone. Use it or lose it. Oh, we need this to prop it up a bit. Because I don't paint in midair, as I like to say. I can't tell what we did the other night. What did we do the other night? How many battles did we do? Right? There's like 3 that were in one column, and the rest of them was like 12 or something. How far down that row of 12 did we get? I'll tell you the one I liked the least. The one where we were in that rail yard and they were fighting over that fucking wall. That wasn't a whole lot of fun. But they can't all be winners. You say the Chinese stuff is the stuff with the Japanese and the Chinese is a little one-sided. Well, can you just play the Chinese then and just be challenged? Unless you probably don't get any vehicles at all. Chinese had like a smorgasbord of. Sometimes they captured some Japanese tanks. They had some Panzer Ones. They had some. I don't think they had T-26s, but I think they had the 6-ton Vickers tank that the T-26 is based on. Basically the same thing. I don't think we got very far down the second row. That rail yard mission was tough. Yeah, it was just like we were beating our head into a wall. I got all excited about getting a flamethrower, and then I never did anything with it. I never got within range of anybody. But it works a lot better on the computer than on the Xbox. Because on the Xbox, it's just fuzzy. And like I said, it's like, okay, just move over like a pixel. And you can't. You overshoot it. So. Yeah, Shanghai stuff is really one-sided. Japan just has a lot more stuff. Do the Chinese have any vehicles or something? I wonder if you're playing a Chinese guy, right? And you come across a dead Japanese, and you take your uniform on and put his. Does the other guys recognize that you're dressed up? Probably not. It probably just doesn't. They're probably like, oh, there's the enemy. They're going to shoot at you. Well, it is very strange that they did the Chinese to begin with. You know, kudos to them, but that's really unusual. That'd be like, if they did like Italians in Greece or something like that. Okay, that's enough of that. Let's lighten this thing up. Start working in these headlamps. Chinese have some Panzer. Yeah, I mean, I think the guy, assuming it's a dude, I think he did it. His heart's in the right place. He's got some errors and stuff, but nothing major. It's he went through a lot more trouble than most people do. I remember the first modernish game that I played, World War II game that was a shooter was I think I downloaded it or something like that. It was Medal of Honor, and I'm playing it, and you can only play the Americans, etc. And I have this mission where I capture this like machine gun, this Schwer MG34. So MG34 on the tripod, whatever. It's like set up like in like this barricade to shoot down this thing. And it was being protected by a Panzer IV. So Panzer IV is right next to it, right? So you have to like take it over or whatever. So I jump in, take control of the MG34, point it at the Panzer IV, and your mission was to destroy the Panzer IV with an MG34. It can't fucking happen. It can't happen. It's an impossible task. But so I never liked Medal of Honor, ever. But the flamethrowers in Call of Duty World at War were actually pretty decent. They had a decent enough range that you could bake people with them. Or, you're also not in the open, in the middle of a fucking prairie. Because one thing I'll give you, that game really has, the maps are really pretty big. The Stalingrad ones didn't seem like they were that big to begin with. Well, the ones in the city. But like that one with the wall is huge. You could go and do an end around. You're all the way over there. But like, those ones like in Italy and stuff like that, you could become one with the earth and, slither your little ass around. It's really pretty amazing how big some of those maps are. And the one with the wall was even worse because everybody was bombing the shit out of us with planes. Well, it's better than being there. Headlamps was one of those things I dreaded doing until I put my head, until I figured out how to make them that I'm happy with. And now it's like I love looking forward to them. All right, let me just take a picture of this. I still need to bring the. Let's do that before we go and do that. Man, the headlamps are just like I love doing it. It like brings it back. It's like putting the face on a figure. When you're painting figures and you haven't painted the face yet, you're like, and then you put the face on and you kick it. You kick it you put it out of the park, knock one out of the park with a face, and it just like makes everything just come together. Same thing with the headlamps. I'm pretty sure the squad leader in a Chinese squad didn't have an automatic weapon. I'm pretty sure he was just had a rifle. All right, let's take a photo of this thing. Let's see how this turned out. Now we need to put silver around that. Even though I put it away. Where did it go? There. German trained divisions. Chinese had German trained divisions? I don't know. Maybe. Not an expert on that. Yeah, I mean, I like these things making them look like the real vehicle. You know? I mean, maybe other people don't think that way. I would say probably most people don't. You want to make them look all like rusty and beat up, but, we're going to put corrosion and stuff on it, but we're not going to go crazy with it, And I had soda in like 3 weeks. Yeah, that was their best troops at the onset of the war. That's why they have Panzer I's and German uniforms. I had no idea. I had no idea. It's hard to find people that may even make Chinese troops. I mean, the scale that I do, I want to say Orion is the one that makes them. But that's it. And I don't think anybody makes them in white metal worth a damn. What did their uniform look like? I guess I probably should just look it up. You said they had like they had like socks like they're going to go play baseball. Some AI art that somebody put about a year ago on one of the North Africa groups. It was some Italian soldiers, and they've got socks and sandals on. I'm like, no, that's fucking AI right there. But it was like a painting. It wasn't like, here's a photo of soldiers going in action. It was like a painting, like a nice looking painting. Look it up. Interesting German uniforms, a little bit of Chinese add-ons. I've got a military. Well, I can't do it. I want to get this guy done, but I will look it up. They're just probably different enough you can't use Germans. I started watching that 800 movie that's about Shanghai or whatever, like 800 Chinese defending. I believe it's Shanghai. It might be Nanking. I don't know. I think it's Shanghai, and like it's dubbed, so it's like, oh man, hey Tony, you want to get some pizza? They're all like freaking Italian. I mean, freaking Chinese guys in World War II. It's like I don't like dub movies, and they're actually pretty rare to find dub movies. Generally, it's like just put subtitles. You got to do them anyways for people that are hearing impaired. So just give them subtitles. Done. Okay, this thing actually has rear view mirrors up here. Can't do those Chinese war movies. Oh yeah, they're like the worst propaganda ever. The Russian propaganda movies are like a blessing compared to those Chinese ones. Did you ever watch what was the name of that one? Der Tiger? The one I was going to watch anyways, then Mitch recommended it. It's actually a movie I recommend people watching, even though it's not very good. All right, now we can go back and look at the red again. More of this scarlet. Man, I've hardly gotten anything done, and a whole hour's gone by. Well, two movies. I've only seen old ones. Anzio, Longest Day, Bridge Too Far, Sands, Iwo Jima, Patton. Yeah. George C. Scott did Patton better than Patton did. I don't really like A Bridge Too Far. I mean, it's got too many people in it. If they cut down like half the people that were in it, it'd probably be better. It's just trying to cover too big a thing. I don't remember anything about. Oh, you said Anzio, and I was thinking Dirty Dozen, because Dirty Dozen is in part of it is in Italy, which is unusual. It's unusual that to find a movie that Italy's kind of like the forgotten theater because there's like a lot of people that fought in Italy and like it doesn't come up. Okay. That part is down. Let's make sure the end of these are black. I've never seen Anzio. Who's in that? Like Burt Lancaster or something like that? I want to say that's. Is it color? It's Technicolor. Robert Mitchum, not a fan. Peter Falk, not a fan. Robert Ryan, yeah, he's just kind of like just kind of your generic. I'm sure he plays an officer. He's like the generic colonel type character. Oh, it looks like it's black. Is it black and white? Well, I'll have to watch it. I'll have to watch it. I read about it recently. In my Italy book, that 3-part book, it spends quite a bit of time on Anzio. Yeah, well, they're older. They're older. They're older. That Ryan guy is in like every movie, like made during that time period. Every movie. And Robert Mitchum is just like I'm not a fan of Robert Mitchum. I don't hate him. He lacks like charisma. He just you know. So I'll give it a shot. I haven't tried to avoid it. But okay, we got to figure out what the hell's going on in the back here. So we need to look at this 300 SL. It's going to be difficult because it's red, and I'm sure there's going to be red lights. Okay, we got what's this guy? 300 Gold Wing rear. Well, it's got a bumper on it, and it doesn't show it. Oh, girl's on the way. There goes the ball game. Well, they're only here for 2 short days, and then they've got to My daughter's got to go back to college, and the wife's got to go back to from whence she came. No, she's working. She's working off site. Put it that way. So. Has an anti-war feel for World War II, which makes it think it wasn't made by Americans. Well, it's a Dino De Laurentiis production. He's Italian, so maybe that, you know. I think he's the guy that did Conan. I don't know. I don't know. That makes it any difference. You know, some people don't like actors. I don't really follow them. I really don't follow directors. They're just, you know, behind the scenes. I'm not saying they're not important. They're behind the scenes. Well, let's paint like there's something here, right? We can't just have nothing back here, and we need to. So we're going to paint this trim. And I'm going to go around these lights also. Just pretend it's Essex Miniatures, and you got to paint something on there, and it didn't come on they didn't get cast on the figure. Same thing. Past that, a little bit past there. Okay, now we've got that black base that we can build upon it. Yeah, they just forgot that. What I normally watch movies on, I normally don't watch them on a laptop. So either my phone or the TV. You know, the phone actually. The only problem with using the phone is sometimes the subtitles are too big and cover up everything. But the phone is super handy. I mean, this phone, I put headphones on and I hear really well. If I put it on the TV, I don't care what kind of a sound system you have, I can't understand. I gotta use subtitles. I could probably watch a movie on the phone with headphones and not have to use subtitles. It's that clear. That's always been the case. So, you know, but you put it on TV and you jack the speaking volume up, and the background music is deafening. My brother says it's a conspiracy to make you go to the movie theater. It's fine in the movie theater. You go to the movie theater, everything's balanced well. But you don't watch it at the movie theater, and that's always a pain in the ass. Including TV shows and stuff like that. Like, it'll go to commercial. It's like freaking deafening, and then you come back. A commercial. Yeah, I guess a commercial if I'm watching on Hulu or something like that. I don't watch live TV. That's ridiculous. That's a terrible waste of time. All right, so we've got orange, but we have orange on the inside. Okay, so we've got red on the outside, orange on the inside. Let's go ahead and put the orange ones first, assuming this is dry enough. May not be. No, if not, we'll have to leave it for the morning. Let's get a good old Games Workshop color out here. Fiery orange? Yeah, fiery orange. Yeah, I generally don't watch... You know, my laptop, I use it like a desktop. It just doesn't take up much space. And, you know, I could travel with it if I need to, but I usually don't. It's usually either down there or up on the stand here. We got a cracked lid. Which means this is so old. No, it's still plenty alive. It's 2/3 of a bottle of this stuff. Not available in stores. Zero smell. But most of the time I'm watching a movie, I'm watching it with somebody else in the family. Even if it's a war movie, I'll watch it with a daughter. So we'll watch it usually on the TV. I don't know if she's got the stomach to watch Anzio. It's a little too old. And with that said, I've only seen Cleopatra once. And it was with her. And my daughter was like little. She was like 8 or something like that. And she sat through that long ass movie. She can do anything now. Nobody's kid would make it through that. Now, we want to make sure the red we use is not the same scarlet one. So it can stand out some. Flat red has the least amount of orange properties to it. Oh yeah, that looks good. And I never use a laptop without connected. Like just not connected to the wall. There's very few things you can do that it's not going to just zip through its whole battery. Like you can't play a game or anything like that. Like it'd be over. Like zip, you're done. Okay, that's the final highlight. All right, if we can finish this, then we can leave in the morning to do the drippings and the weathering. That's pretty okay. The only thing I hate about laptops is you get a lot less bang for your buck. They cost a lot more money for like not memory and stuff that isn't as good as a as a regular computer. Just because it's got they've got to make it smaller so it fits in there. but it's worth it to have portability. You know, you go somewhere on vacation for a week, you can take your laptop with you. Unless it's Spain. I mean, I guess I could have taken it, but yeah, I didn't make coffee, and I'm fading fast. So, girls are on the way, so they should be here any minute. So we're gonna pick up back up in the morning. Oh yeah, they're right around the corner. Yeah, they're we'll pick this back up in the morning and hopefully get this guy completely done. And